Welcome to Coffee and the Bull.
Picture, and she goes, "This," and I was like, first off, you can see me in the background of this photo. I'm outside. I don't see her putting this hat. Like, you could see through the window in the kitchen where I was outside with the guys grilling on a grill. Like, I don't know if she's put this hat on. How are you going to put this evil on me? Like, this is my fault. And she's, you're going to fix it. What do
What's
you
the
want
fix?
me to do? Like, I was outside. And apparently, and I didn't know this because growing up, even though we grew up close to farming and all of that, we weren't rich enough to have cowboy hats, okay? That wasn't a thing. I got Daddy's old hand-me-down ball
I got
pop.
ball
Like,
caps.
Like, that's all I had. You know, I didn't know that there was, like, significance behind a cowboy hat. And, like, when a woman wears a man's cowboy hat, that signifies something. Like, I didn't know that. Like, I wasn't rich enough to have a $50 cowboy hat. Like, that wasn't a thing in my house. Oh, she was mad. And, like, it makes me think now of, like, when you're dating somebody. I know you have no idea what I'm talking about because you haven't dated since, you know, BC. And the chick has a dream that the guy cheated on him. Is that what happened to you?
So I don't know. I know what you're referencing. I don't know that my wife has ever had a dream of me cheating on her and then her be mad at me about it. I do know that there have been times that I've woke up in the middle of the night and like my jaw hurt or like on the side of my face hurt, and she might have been flipping over real quick. You know, I'm not saying.
I'm so glad you can't see the comments right now. You haven't dated since BB, not BC. I'm sorry.
What is BB?
Well, you know what BC is, right?
Oh, before Brittany.
Yeah.
She's so stupid.
That's her comment. She said BB.
All right, so those of y'all in the comment, you know, again, for everybody on Facebook and Spotify and everything, I'm sorry. This is the first time we're trying this, and evidently we can't not be interrupted by rude people in the comment section.
His wife. He means his wife.
Yeah, I said what I said.
I got to give it to her, though. Like, in person, her jokes miss every time. Like, yet to have one.
Writing, they're perfect.
Bro,
They're
her
on
comment
point.
section,
They're on point.
Girl is a nail on the head.
Yeah.
Like,
in real life, it'll be like, you know, you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody, and I can't tell you how many times she's done this, and she'll point it out to me, where different people will be going back and forth. 5 minutes later, she'll go, "Dang it!" Because she thought of something she could have used 5 minutes ago, but now it's done past.
it's like thinking at that house today, where she's like, "Wait, why did this turn into both of you ganging up on me?" And we're like, "Wait. That wasn't what you came in here for,
Right? Right.
You came in here."
So no, I love her to death.
She's every single time.
No, I love her to death, but man. Anyway.
I've said it before. I have never seen a relationship that is as constructionally solid as your guys'. You guys have a very interesting relationship where, like, it reminded me of being like a little kid sometimes when you guys have your arguments where you're like at your friend's house and his mom and dad are arguing. You look at your buddy and you're like, "Are we in trouble? Danger? Or like, did we do this?"
Right.
Or like,
right.
But like 10 minutes later, it's like it never happened. And she's like, "Hey, do you want a cold drink?"
Since she decides she wants to listen in on this, you know, this is a guys podcast. You know, it's meant to help guys out, but she wants to be nosy. And I'm sure she's not the only one for all the female people out there. Like we've said several times, this is meant for guys. Y'all,
right. We have a heavy female.
I feel like I should not get in trouble for bringing certain things up if she decides she wants to listen to it and knowing, you know. I did tell her, "Hey, we're going to do a session where we're going to do
that. That's fair.
We're going to reference dumb things that spouses do." So there was a point in time where somebody in her family, their house flooded, right? And I let them borrow my pickup truck. You know, I didn't need my truck at the time. They needed a vehicle. Both theirs had flooded. So I was like, "Hey, I'll be, you know, the good Samaritan. I'll help out. You know, y'all my wife's family. That makes us family. You know, or like Italians. You know, whatever. Everybody's family. Like Olive Garden." So I tell
I'm
them,
disappointed. And just not to interrupt, but as a child,
sure. I'm sorry. The middle of my story interrupted your sentence.
I've heard the story like 5 times, guys. It's not that great. So, in the end, he loses his dog to the mailman. It's a whole thing. So, when I was a kid, I used to think that Olive Garden was like the top of the line Italian 5-star restaurant.
And he found out all Italians hate Olive Garden.
Right,
It's sacrilegious.
It's not even real Italian food. Like I legit thought that Olive Garden and Red Lobster were like
that brings up
a
kind of a dumb argument. It's pasta. It's noodles.
Right, no, I'm with you.
It's noodles and cheese and
Alfredo
there's heavy
sauce?
whipping cream.
Yep.
There's butter. Like I don't
Wait, so is it heavy whipping or whipped?
whipping.
Well, okay, but when you go
Heavy
to the store,
whipping
it's
cream.
whipped cream.
I don't think it
whipped
is.
Cream.
Whipped cream is something completely different.
No, that's cool whip. Thank you, Brian Griffin.
Anyway, so back to my story. I let them borrow my truck, right? Because their house
you
flooded.
guys out there are wondering, this is legitimately how arguments and conversations with us go. We will ADD
One day
it
I'm gonna get
all
through.
day.
I'm gonna get through telling the story. That's
and
all I wanna
we
do.
just sidetrack just
Just once.
randomly.
So anyway, back to my story.
Which one?
We take and her family members, their house floods,
Right.
their vehicles flood. They're distraught. Hey, everything they have is now.
That's right, Brittany. We have
went under so many feet of water and all this other stuff. So it's like, hey, what we'll do is we'll let you borrow my truck to get back and forth to work, back and forth to your house, do all this other stuff. Unbeknownst to us, right?
Beknownst.
They decide to open.
I don't know why that just came out. I'm sorry.
They decide to run an underwater taxi service to everybody in their neighborhood to get them to their house, right? Like, you could get to your house without going through water. Nay. That's not. We're going to help all these people in the neighborhood who we can't stand, who we're going to call the cops on for loud music. They don't really call the cops on. But anyway, you complain, because their dogs get out and all this other stuff. All these people in the neighborhood who you can't stand, you're going to run them to their house in my truck, which put it underwater several times for extended periods of time on end. So a week later, when I go to get the truck, it is now like it's driving. It started driving kind of funny. I'm going down the interstate about 5 miles from the house, and it starts driving funny. I'm like, that's weird. This will be the part where I describe mechanical issues the same way my wife does. It was making a weird noise out of the thingy, and so as I'm going, I'm like, that's a weird noise coming out of the thingy. And all of a sudden, it drops down to second gear. I'm at 70 miles an hour, and it drops to second gear, and it does not, would not come out, And
Was
so
it an immediate drop or was it a slow, gradual decrease? Because
like
there's a difference in my pucker factor.
It was immediate.
Ooh.
It was like the nose of the truck dropped down, and everything. Like we slowed down, and it was not coming out of second gear. And this is a big diesel truck,
That's a pucker factor 6.
And so I take my time. I get it off the road or whatever, or get off the interstate, get it home, and you know how you know what the problem is. Anybody who's ever done any type of mechanic, not even like in-depth certified mechanic, anybody who's really honestly owned a car, when you realize I'm supposed to be going faster than I am and it's not, it's a transmission. And nobody ever replaces nobody's ever like, I got a great deal on getting that transmission replaced. It's always, it was so expensive, like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like that's probably one of the two most important or most expensive parts of the car, minus the car. And so I'm sitting there mad because one, I let you borrow this thing and you didn't take care of it.
Right, kindness in my heart.
But on top of that, now I've got a massive bill. I don't know what an Allison transmission costs for a diesel truck, but I know it's not a couple $100, and I know that the way my bank account was set up, not to misinterpret Kevin Hart, but the way my bank account was set up is I didn't have more than a couple $100 to throw towards anything.
Right.
Luckily, insurance came through like a bunch of champs. Were like, hey, it's a flooded vehicle, and they told it, and so that gave me the ability to go get another truck, right? And so we go through, and honestly, it was an impractical truck. It was a nice truck. It was nice, newer model truck, real clean, taken care of, leather seats, decked out, like all the different technology, sitting on 38-inch mud tires, right? So I'm excited about 35s. And so 35-inch mud tires. Why is a camera on me like that? I think I talked with my hands. I think it picked up one of the signals.
Maybe.
So anyway, why? So y'all going to get to see Jeff's bald head at some point. I hope. No, he's going to block it out.
Keep her going.
Anyway, so we take and
let's see if I can bring it back. You
That's
keep telling your story. I'll
so
fix the technical difficulty.
anyway, we take and we go. We pick up this truck. That's not working. Guys, I'm sorry. We are having technical difficulties with a camera right now. Well, here, hold on. Let me move out of the way. That's what it is. We got to turn the hand signals on.
It followed you. It followed you all the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's still on you.
How's it still on me? There we go. Now fix it.
This camera loved you.
All right.
Okay. All right. Keep going. Finish your story. I'll get this camera.
I don't really want to finish the story now.
Technical difficulties with our first line.
Nope.
No
Yep.
judgment, guys.
Yep. See them feet on the table? All right. I got to talk with fists now.
I don't know why I hooked on you like that. That was hilarious.
So
I know you don't think that's
right. So anyway, we decide to go get this truck, right? And we go.
Greatest technical difficulty ever is a camera chasing you
Across
around a room.
So we take and we decide to go get this truck from Mississippi, right? And it's a big jacked up truck or whatever.
I'm not saying that out loud, Brittany.
So we take and what did she say?
I'm not slow. I know I'm slow sometimes, but I haven't found the point of this story yet.
So she made that comment like 5 minutes late. Anyway, so we go and get this truck, right?
She says, wait, I know the point now.
So we go get this truck. We make it back home. Somehow between making it home or leaving the dealership and making it across the street to Walmart, she loses one of the keys to the truck, right? We're going to glance over that part since she wants to run her mouth in the comment section. So, keep your $800 keys away from my wife. But anyway, so we get home, and I enjoy this truck. Like, I'm happy showing it off to my friends and everything else, right? And she decides one day, while it's still got the temp tag on it, right? Still got a temp tag in the window.
Oh, yeah.
Which, just so you know, the state of Mississippi doesn't give temp tags. We had to get them to mail us a temp tag to stick in the window, so I'm not driving around for 6 weeks waiting on the regular plate to come in,
right?
And without a some type of tag on it, right? So we get the temp tag. It's in the window. Her and my mom decide one day they're going to go pick up a goat. All right. I said what I said. A goat, a fainting goat, because we had a little farm. She wanted a fainting goat. I'm good with it. Let's go get a goat. I'm sleeping because I work night shifts at the time. I'm sleeping. Her and my mom go get a goat, right?
Right.
Before they left, I remember being told to go put a dog kennel in the bed of the truck. I tie the dog kennel down, make it where whatever animals are going to get loaded in the dog kennel is not going to get wind burnt and all this other stuff, right? They show back up. I'm awake, so I go outside because I hear the truck pull up in the driveway. I look, go to the bed of the truck where the dog kennel's at. You know what's not in the kennel or in the dog kennel? There's not a single furry animal anywhere in that kennel. There's nothing in that. Well, nothing with a beating heart in that kennel. So I look at her. I'm like, "Where's the goat at?" To which she starts doing her laugh, right? And she's got this laugh where she knows she just did something I'm going to think is dumb. She's 100% going to do it again. Like, she would not change her course of action based on my response, right?
She thought this was about the keys.
Nope, not about the keys. Got you on that one, didn't you?
I thought this was about the
now
keys.
She knows the point of the story.
It was not.
So we take and I asked her, I said, "Where's the goat at?" At which point she goes to the back door of my truck and opens the door. She shoved not one fainting goat in the back seat of my truck, not two fainting goats in the back seat of my truck, two fainting goats, a bunch of rabbits, and a pygmy goat. I've got 3 goats, not including my mama had 2 goats in the back seat of that truck. I've got a whole barnyard on the back seat of a Ford F-150 Lariat seat. I don't know if you know what all these animals do. Not the first one of those animals in the back seat are litter box trained. They don't go outside. You don't walk them on a leash in the dog park and go. No, they don't even get a sensation. They just poop. That's all they do. Just, hey, time to poop, poop. It doesn't matter where. They could be in church. They don't care. They don't care that they're in the back seat of a brand new pickup truck either. So my wife is sitting there, and she is.
Was there a tarp under them?
I don't know. Don't care. You go. So that's her argument. Is she may it's alleged that there was a tarp underneath all these animals, right? It doesn't matter. If you think that matters, I want you to go to your vehicle right now, put a bed sheet, tarp, garbage bag, I don't care, put something down, and let a farm animal go take a dump in it, and tell me it's not going to aggravate you. Like, you pay
in a brand new truck. That's about
in a brand new truck. Like, you may take, like I've got a 1995 Chevy pickup truck. I'll let a cow crap in there. It doesn't bother me.
She said challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No. I want to see her put a tarp in the back of the. I'll even give her the cargo space of that SUV she just bought. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So,
call you bluff on this one.
Yeah. I don't really know. Like the last story with the rights, hey, there was a point to it where she was trying to make something. I, to this day, don't know why that was the route she decided to go. Like, I don't see I cannot. I understand that a lot of times husbands and wives argue over different things, and sometimes the arguments make sense, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get very heated. A lot of the times, those arguments, or at least in my marriage, those arguments are most of the time neither party is listening to the other one. They're mad and they're just yelling at the other one. And I think that's what was not going to be applicable in this one. I honestly think to this day she was 100% wrong in doing that. And I don't know. I can't think of a justifiable reason to open up, Old McDonald's farm in the backseat of my pickup truck. So, on this episode of Dumb Things My Wife Does.
Right.
So, what funny things have y'all argued about? I'm sorry. Again, for all the Spotify and Facebook people, John's got a phone.
I just want to point out, her defense is that it was fainting goats, and they would have died in the bed of the truck.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. They would have fainted. It's literally their job.
They would have.
It's literally their job. Is they faint.
I remember when I met those goats for the first time. I don't remember what we were doing out in that pasture. Like, I don't know what we were out there for, but we'd gone out to that barn area, and you had like a bunch of like wood that had been like laid down with the nails sticking up. Because I remember you going,
"Oh, I tore down another barn."
Yeah, and you were like, "Hey, watch out for the boards. There's nails in them." I was like, "Okay," and then you were like, "Don't scare the goats near the boards." And I was like, "What?" And you're like, "They'll faint, and they'll land on the nail in their head, they'll die, and then I have to explain how your stupidness killed the goat." It's like,
so one of the things that caught me off guard, and this will be for a lot of the people who you see me now in my more fluffy state, whenever she got these fainting goats, I was fresh out of the police academy, right? And so I had been running a little bit. I didn't. Now, granted, I was by no means Mr. Muscle-Bound gym membership type guy, right? But I could run a little bit, and